I'm ready to settle down. I'm ready to buy a house, and I'm ready to change my last name. Ready to have some kids, ready for the life to live, and all the hands to give. I've been your superwoman for so long, ready to be your wife.
These out the fuck you get that shit from? And do that shit last night,
This is Go Chat with Mac, the People's Podcast. I'm 100% sure that he's the same.
DJ!
I ain't got no issues standing in my way. I ain't going nowhere. You ain't going nowhere. Make it official. We ain't get no younger, baby. And I'm ready to be with you. Together for always. You and me to go through sickness and to crazy, baby. I'm loving me for it. You have it home forever, baby. Baby, ride or die till death do us part. Let's make it last forever. This is Go Chat with Mac, the People's Podcast.
Hey, DJ, they got raised. You went from working for free to working for $1 a month. Tell me it's a motherfucking better than my DJ out there. Tell him come out here. Now I don't want him up here. My motherfucking DJ. DJ Don Status, what we doing, DJ? Who we rocking with?
We get it in, man. Go chat with
Go
Mac.
Chat with
Live
Mac.
from the Mac cave. You already know it.
Welcome everybody to Go Chat with Mac. We on our part 2 edition of our Black Marriage Matter episodes. We got the queens of the councils over here tonight. We got the ladies over here, the wives, the mothers, the nurturers, the earth, the ones that's taking care of us. So I'm gonna start off the podcast by introducing. I'm gonna start with Shameka. I think the people know who we is. Y'all know who the fuck I am. I ain't gotta tell y'all. Y'all see me on that motherfucking timeline. Y'all know who the fuck I am. You know what I'm saying? But this DJ Don Status. So we start off with the first guest. Shameka, why don't you introduce yourself to the people?
My name is Shameka Garrett Thorpe, and my anniversary date is October the 26th, 2019.
My name is Jessica Arrington Knight, and my anniversary date is 10/10/20.
My name is Breona Davis Walker, and my anniversary date is October 21st, 2017.
My name is Aisha Smith Porter. My anniversary date is February the 3rd, 2006.
Think about it.
It's me to be. That's why.
Big support. I told her ass way in the back what she was supposed to do. They don't put that shit on me. All right, ladies, I'd like to thank y'all for coming to the Mac Cave, rocking out with, taking time out y'all's schedules. It's hard for women to move as easy as men do, because when y'all get off work, y'all got to go home and y'all got to be moms. Y'all jobs never done. And to be extra wives on top of that, I think that's just one of the greatest things in the world. Now, excuse me, I'm going to say a little horse without I smoke that reef. We'll be all right. So, what I want to do right now is, all y'all being young, African-American women, queens of your councils, to give y'all a toast. And I want to salute and celebrate you all. You know what I'm saying? Because, they don't see a lot of y'all. So, you know what I'm saying? Salute. Queens of the council. I drink this too. Yeah, thank God. Alright. And we got that shit out the way. First off, ladies, every man on this show right here tonight, including my cameraman. I got brother TJ Walker behind me for more support tonight. My DJ downstairs, we're all man. You know what I'm saying? And I want to let y'all know we appreciate y'all. We love y'all. But you know I gotta represent TJ.
Yeah.
Why the hell y'all give us so many damn problems? Did that thing that gonna come in here and think it was all good? Hey, I can't even throw my drawers on the floor without getting frustrated. I leave the damn dishes in the goddamn seat. Yeah, you got to clean up it all. Don't do that shit. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just playing, y'all. But like I said, welcome to the show. So you know what I'm saying? To start off, man, like when y'all in y'all household, how was y'all upbringing? Like, was y'all raised in co-parent households? Like, was your parents married? Did y'all come to a single family household? You start with you, Shameka.
So I grew up in a 2-parent household. My parents are still together. They got married in like 1988. So 2-parent household.
That's great. What about you, Justin?
Well, I originally grew up in a 2-parent household. My mom and my dad, they were married until I was probably like 13, 14. And then they divorced and my father got remarried. But he always instilled, the value of being in the house and being a provider.
Okay. What about you, Breona?
Single house, single family household with my mom. And then I just want to add in there, my dad was incarcerated for 12 years of my life, so it had a major impact on her shooting.
Yeah, it's all right, man. Hey, brothers go through that. That's what they design a system for the cages. You go back to we are criminal people, like society portray us to be. You know what I'm saying? It got to be an influence somewhere for somebody to act the way they act. So if you take all the important shit out of the community, the librarians, the Black Panthers, everybody that care about us, take that shit out of the community and you implement programs where they don't even see you, they just write your damn shit.
Yeah.
Break sort the household. You know what I'm saying? So you take that out along with the influx of drugs, the influx of guns, the influx of liquor, all that shit. We're not a criminal people. You know what I'm saying? Your father acted the way he acted because that shit was designed for us. Prison wasn't designed for the white folks to be in there. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to say it is what it is. So, shit, that ain't got nothing to be. You know what I'm saying? It ain't got shit to do with marriage. But anytime I get a chance, black principle of mistake that they had made in life, you know what I'm saying? You gotta look at the root or the cause of problems. You know what I'm saying? Your daddy won't be easy. He was in there down in that cage. No folks were. What about you, Aisha? How you come up in your household?
My mom was a single parent. She got married. That lasted like a year. So.
Okay. That's it. Every household is different, but
She dated longer than she was married.
Every household is different, man. So what I want to get is, because you say you've been married since 2006. Where do those values and them morals, them principles come from? What y'all characterize as being a wife? Where did you learn from? I know you said you came up in a 2-parent household. Did you follow directly in your mother's footsteps?
Probably a little, because my husband says I'm bossy. My mama is really bossy. She likes to run everything and everybody. But I can say growing up in a 2-parent household, my dad, there were no gender rules. My dad would get up and wash clothes, he would cook. On Saturdays, he would take everything out the kitchen and mop the floor. But he also washed our cars as I got older and had a car. So he provided, but my mom did too. And there was a time when my mama worked 2 jobs. My dad always worked, but she just was the kind of person where I was with him most of the time because she wanted to work a lot.
Yeah.
So me and him spent a lot of time together as a kid, more so him than my mom.
Okay. What about you, Jessica? Where your values instilled from for you to become a wife? Because that's a title that carry a lot of weight, more than a husband. Because a wife is you're everything. You know what I'm saying? Like me, it's prime example, my relationship, my marriage. The only thing I'm here for, I feel like, is the money. I give enough of that. Y'all handle everything. Goddamn toilet stool stopped up. The plumbs in there. I can't do shit with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of them guys that, You know what I'm saying? I ain't fixing nothing around the house. I ain't helping no child with no homework. And it's just real, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, my day's so busy and consistent of trying to provide financially
Yeah.
that the wife is the one that's really the provider. Because she's the one that's, okay, Leah got to get up, she got to go to school. You know what I'm saying? So now, COVID, saying we can't send her to school. She got to be a teacher and a mama at the same time. That's that, while also working. So, you know, where did you get your values from?
I would say, my grandmother. Just, you know, watching my grandmother and my grandfather. My grandfather was a provider. He worked, he made sure my grandmother was good. I mean, at all times. So my grandmother stayed home, she cooked, she cleaned, and, you know, just, I guess, watching her. And I've always, you know, I grew up in the house with her. But then I also grew up in the house, you know, my mom and my dad, but I was always at my grandmother's house. So I would say my grandmother. And then, you know, with my mom and my dad, even after their separation and, you know, them not being together, my mother got remarried again. That didn't work. So I've always wanted to be the person who broke the cycle. You know what I mean? So I've always valued marriage. And I knew that I wasn't going to marry just anybody. So I guess, you know, watching my family, my uncle and my aunt, they've been married for over 30 years. So just like I have people in my family that I feel like I look up to and I've gotten that guidance from.
So you say, keyword when you say you just didn't want to marry anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Because these folks that out here didn't marry.
Just to say they're married.
They're married. You know what I'm saying? Hey, oh, hey, DJ.
Right as that, man.
Shameka, let me stop. Let me go, hey, hold on. Hey, DJ, I gotta tell you today, I forgot I had Shameka. Keisha from the project just had that nigga back 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago.
You know what, baby, we gonna carry on from there. We ain't gonna let the project, baby, destroy our A year later,
Might as well, right?
a year later, what that project baby done did? He done destroyed the damn home. Every time she turn around, she gotta think about Keisha all on Facebook. Posting that, look, nappy head ass project, born out of wedlock child. He all in the pictures like this did. She can't deal with it. You know what I'm saying? That's what's important though. You marry somebody, make sure that person is your soulmate.
Right.
Because that soul tie shit is real. You know, so whether believe it, I don't believe that black magic and all that shit. But if somebody got your soul, you can't live without it. If you split yourself from a situation and you can go on without that person, shit, if you can go on without a person, y'all was never really connected. I don't feel like the sex might have been real. Y'all probably made good money or whatever. But there's something about that person, that other person, where they weren't loyal to the situation or they feel like that y'all was soulmates. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might have been together for a long time, said fuck it.
So you felt like it was the next move.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, or y'all might have had enough money so the wedding might be glamorous. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that would be good to get back to what I talk about. I always make sure when you marry somebody, man, because I tell you, don't jump into marriage. I'll never tell none of my friends to be married. You got to make sure you with that person until you in the ground. You know what I'm saying? That's supposed to be a lifelong commitment. Breona, what about you? When you get them life, you say your father was incarcerated. So how did you learn how to become a wife, or just something like it's every day? It's something you got to learn it every day still to this day.
I'm still learning. But I think my grandparents, and then the desire that I had just to wanting to do better or be better, were those three things. But more so my grandparents, they didn't say a lot to me. They still don't say a lot about marriage. Is what they showed me.
Yeah.
My grandmother she does an amazing job showing me what it's like to be a wife when it comes to cleaning, cooking, protecting. Even there's a protection mode too, like with them getting older. My grandfather is older, and so being able to see like through thick and thin, and then through thick and thin, I can still take care of, you know, my husband in the way that I did when I was younger. My grandma still got it. She could wake up every morning, still cooking my granddaddy breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You know, it's amazing. Like still putting it on the table for him. You know, all three every morning. He get his coffee in bed. It's just so is my grandmother.
Shout out to granddaddy.
And he know it. And that's the thing. My grandfather knows. He watch it. He know my grandmother.
Where grandma born?
When was she born?
Yeah.
March.
I'm talking about what year?
1954, I believe.
Only, I came from 2021. You didn't get no breakfast.
Yeah.
Now the 2021.
I mean, it's like neck
Yeah.
bones, college days.
Yeah, real, yeah. The neck bones with the dukes. With the juice. Hey, see something out there, bro. When you learn how to become a wife, or is it still something that you're involved with? Seeing as how your mother was only married a year out of your whole life.
Honestly, I knew that I didn't want to go through what my mom went through. But my husband, he taught me a lot being a man because he was raised by a woman. So she taught him and she instilled in him that, this is your wife and this is how it's supposed to be done. But a lot of stuff that my mom went through, I was trying to take him through it because that's what I do. But he was like, no, this ain't how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So really, honestly, I give it a lot of comfort him.
Okay. Shameka, I know you said like you was around your father a lot. You know what I'm saying? So looking at him, because with me being raised by men is different. I am the exact image of my father, but I don't try to be. It's just that genetic shit. A lot of years we ain't even like each other. You know what I'm saying? So, but being like, with Aaliyah though, as my baby, I can't get mad at. What did you get, like the characteristics of a man that you wanted? Did you get that from your father, or did you just like, you know what I'm saying? Because even though a man could be in the household with the family, that man might be as viewed as a role model per se. You know what I'm saying? Because you got so many outside factors that can come into your household and play that, you know what I'm saying, that role. Like I said, granddad might be a little different than that was. Granddad might be a strong black man and take no shit. Daddy might be linked. You know what I'm saying? So where did you get your views from? But you know what, when I marry one day, I want my husband to be like this.
So this is my second marriage. I was married for 10 years the first time. And I think my first husband was kind of like my dad, very talkative, a hard worker. But my husband now is like totally different from my dad. He's like shy, kind of quiet. So I didn't get what I wanted from my dad, I guess, the kind of man I wanted. And I think I spent a whole lot of time trying to chase a person like my daddy, but the person who ended up being for me is not like him at all. Totally opposite.
Very shy.
Yeah.
Send that brother to the Mac cave. I'll turn it down like in 2 hours. Hey DJ, what is that gonna come over here and catch a guy? Oh, walk in the house there.
In a good way. Yeah. It's hitting different in the back cave.
What about you, Justin? When you look at seeing did his character and his values, was that something that you was looking for from the jump, or was it somebody in your life, maybe like your father or somebody that you looked at and like, one day when I'm married, that's who I want my man to be just like?
One of the characteristics that that my father has is said as a provider. Said always make sure that my house is straight, that his kids are straight, and that I'm straight. That's his number one priority. Like everything else is second nature to that. He puts himself on the back burner so many times, and that was my dad. So I think that the quality that I've gotten him that came from my father was that there, and I appreciate it like so much. Outside of that, he's really laid back. He's really easygoing. And my dad was something like if you mention my dad's name, people be like, oh my God. Yeah, like my dad. I'm not gonna say really in the streets.
No, I ain't talking about in the streets as far as being street. I'm talking about
you
say Matt Billy name in the streets. I'm talking about Matt Billy be on the goddamn TV. Yeah, he was dying in the street. Yeah, that's how. Hey, shout out, hey, Pop, come on with it. Yeah, let's turn up.
Well, he ain't having that on that.
I'll be out there to turn on YouTube one day. Okay.
So, you know what I'm saying? So, like, that, that aspect, they're completely opposite. But as far as, like, being a provider, yeah, definitely nailed that.
Okay. Breona, I know you said your father was incarcerated. So, who was the pedestal? Who was the, like, you know what? It might have been one of your mother's old boyfriend, your grandfather, something like that. or uncle, who was the person to say you like everything that guy got right there? This is who I want my husband to body as a man.
It was my grandfather and my dad. Like, even though my father was incarcerated, you know, majority of my upbringing, he's still an upstanding guy. Like he's just like my husband when it comes to just like enjoying life to the fullest. Like, nothing's gonna put me down, nothing's gonna get me, you know, I'm just gonna enjoy it, and whoever I am around, they're gonna get that from me. They're gonna get the best of me when it comes to, I'm not gonna, my father has a good spirit, like, hands down. He's just,
That
he just
that
has
system
that's
ain't
just
great.
him. Yeah.
That system ain't great.
Not at all. No, I actually probably did him good. Like, you know, he's still just weekly. That's just who he is. So, but also my grandfather too, I'm able to get like, I was able to see what type of man I really needed and wanted to. My father gave me more so like the personality and like what I needed to match me, you know, salt and pepper type thing. But my grandfather gave me what I needed to make sure that I was able to grow mentally, physically, emotionally with a male. So.
Okay. Aisha, who was that guy? Don't say me in high school because I won't develop yet. Because I won't even marry, so don't say Matt Billy, you was the one. Because I ain't gonna go for that.
Really, it would be my uncles, you know, because they helped my mom raise us, you know, as far as providing, you know, being there for us.
Alright, so now that we seen what y'all like in men or another, let's get to the way before the marriage. You know what I'm saying? So before you met the love of your life, what was I know you was married before, so was that your longest relationship?
Mm-hmm.
Before your husband?
Yep. On paper, we were married for 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
5 years was really, really strong and solid. And then, like, the last 5 years was, like, off and on, break up, make up. And then finally, 1 year, we were both trying to buy houses.
Yeah.
And we were like, okay, it's time to go our separate ways. So we finally got divorced after 10 years, but it was my longest relationship.
It was inside the downfalls of it all. Like, when you were with this man at one point in time, I know he had to have you feeling like, well, this is what I'm gonna be with for the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. And I think that's the part that kind of made me stick around for so long, because in my mind I was like, okay, we can't get divorced. We gotta stay together forever. My parents still together. And I always said like, well, the Bible says this and says that, so we gotta stay married. But then I thought, like, what if God didn't put our marriage together? What if I just was like, okay, God, this is what I want, and He gave it to me because I kept asking Him for it, but it really wasn't what was best.
And what the saying will be careful what you ask for, because you may not see it. See, I think that was a word.
I was waiting for you to know get to it.
I thought she was nervous. Came up, stole it down, sold that thing like that. Hey,
Hey, what was that? Can I see your ring?
Remember what she said?
You see a ring?
Yeah, I seen this motherfucker before she pulled back. And just before you said got together, what was the relationship that you was in longer prior to that? You ain't got to, and y'all ain't got to say no names.
Okay.
We ain't here to bash nobody, nothing like that. It's just, you know, stuff leading up to where y'all are at now.
My son's dad. That was the longest relationship that I was in outside of my marriage. Because me and Sid, we've been together now 8 years. We've been married 3 months. So prior to that, I would date off and on. Nothing serious, but like my son's dad, I met him when I was like 15. So we dated up until like I was in my 20s.
Okay.
So yeah, I was in that relationship.
Before you met this excellent brother behind me, one of the most silent, stand-up dudes I know. Your relationship prior to that, what was it, Livy?
It was 3 years.
Okay. Okay. Did you think that guy was gonna be the one that you was gonna marry, or y'all was just coasting the whole time?
No, we thought so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna ask y'all a question.
Yeah.
After this, what about you out here? Y'all got married in 2000. Y'all was zero high school.
Yeah, I met him in '98, so we've been together since.
So you had puppy love before that.
Yeah, they was just like middle school if you count it. So they don't count.
Shit, me.
We don't count.
Hey,
Don't count.
nigga cousin you talk to came to the walk saying, right? I look over there like, hey, DJ, we roll eyes too. You know what I'm saying? I see that thing over there. I appreciate the business, but you know what I'm saying? Whole time I'm over there like, fuck you. It's like the whole thing, goddamn. I ain't have to play. I got it. You know what I'm saying? So, what would y'all say that was, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, without getting too personal in your business, what caused that relationship not to work?
So I got married at 22. What we wanted at 22 wasn't the same thing we wanted when we got in our 30s. So I just think it was, we just grew apart. Being married was not terrible at all.
Right.
I would not say that my ex-husband was bad. We both made a lot of mistakes in the marriage because we were just so young, I think. But yeah, just difference of growing apart.
Yeah, I think like 22 is a young age to get married. I didn't get married until I was in my 30s. Nah, hell no, I'll put that on my damn self. I was 27. I'm saying hell, I done messed up and I don't say, I done forgot. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, 22 is a young age to get married because you ain't lived.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I always tell people get outside your city first before you find that you. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of people settle in the wrong times. You know what I'm saying? That's why when people be telling people, I hate when people try to deter people from going to college. You know what I'm saying? And saying, well, you know, you ain't gonna do nothing but accumulate a lot of debt and you might not work in your field. College is more than just debt. Say you go there for the experience, for the culture. Your soulmate could be from New York City, come to North Carolina Agriculture Tech University. You know what I'm saying? Stomping the yard. But you missed it because you would rather stay back and go work for whoever you work for. So you know what I'm saying? Just what you think is the reason what caused you not and your ex prior to your husband not to be married.
We were young.
Right.
Definitely young. I had my son when I was 17. So yeah, we were young. Streets, you know what I mean? Just the streets. I'm from Nashville, well, actually like Castelia area. So I'm from the country girl. And back then, you know, you meet somebody from Rocky Mount, city boy. You know, that's how I
Hey, I tell you. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm from, baby? Around the road. What we doing? Talking about Hazelwood. Sound right about. You know, y'all, you be the nigga rock about like be the nigga from New York City. Go ahead.
I'm telling you, so it was like, you know, I moved to Rocky Mount and then it was just fast. You know, we grew up extremely fast. I was out on my own at 17 years old, had a child, never been back home. You know what I mean? So just grew up so fast, and I feel like we kind of grew up together, but we didn't like really grow up until, you know, life circumstances happened, and then he went his way, I went my way, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, just being young.
All right, Breona said y'all were locked in for 3 years. After what, because you said you thought y'all was going to be together for how long did it take for y'all to think that? They think that was like, you know, eventually we gonna get married one day and we gonna settle down, we gonna have our family. Because 3 years go by like that in a relationship. So how long did you think after y'all first started talking that, you know, we might be together for
Maybe after the first year.
First year? Okay. So then you got 2 years left in the relationship. What was pretty much the issue to say, you know what, this shit ain't working. Y'all go, you go your way, I go my way, and you know.
Truthfully, I just started growing spiritually.
Wow.
And
That's major, man.
when you start growing spiritually and just knowing the path that you're supposed to be on, and y'all are not equally yoked, you know, or just, you know, on that same path of just growing spiritually, then it ain't gonna work. It won't.
That's major.
Precious Lord, take my hand, lead me on, let me stand. Fella, when the Lord take their hand, they feel I don't need you no more.
Right there.
Hey, TJ,
all the way for that.
When the Lord took her hand,
That's what it was.
and when she spiritually grew and evolved, Satan get back. Devil get behind me. Can I get 30 minutes in the pulpit? God dang. Like, I thought y'all was shy.
Oh, man.
She been that nigga since high school. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let me get you out of here. So, when did you first meet your husband that you're currently with now?
So I got my master's in like 2018, and somebody hit me up and wanted me to help them do their business plan. So after the business plan part was over, they asked me to stay on with the organization. He was on the board, I was on the board, and we met September of 2018 at one of the first games. Me and him took money at the door together, and that's the first time I ever saw him.
Or y'all just chilling, or y'all just
We were just working, taking money. I saw him come in. He's a truck driver. He had a little headset on that they wear, everywhere. And I was like, hey. He said, hey. He sat down, we took money together the whole day. And
So,
we might have conversated a little bit, but those sparks flew.
because y'all walked away from that. What did he do? What did he get somebody else saying, man, that girl out was out taking tickets, she fine as what happened? Who approached you?
So fast forward to like the next game, I got in my car and he walked over to my car and he stuck his head through my window and was like, can you give me a kiss? And I said, I don't even know you. And I laughed, he laughed, and I drove off. And then that day he texted me and was like, I just want to make sure you got home safe. And that was it.
That's it, right? That's the What year was that? What year was that?
2018.
Don't try that shit in 2021. God damn, I ain't like that. Tell us what you be saying.
We met in 2012 on Black People Meet. We met online.
Oh, shit.
Yep, we met online. And I'm going to tell you how it happened, though, because at the time I was in nursing school. So he hit me up, and I guess he liked my profile, you know. So he hit me up, and he was just like, you know, I'm up here, but I'm not going to be up here long, whatever. And I'm like, yeah, you know, because I was actually, it wasn't like supposed to be like long term. It was just something to see, you know, I'm tired of dating. Let's see if I find something different. So that's how I ended up there. So he hit me up, liked my profile. He was like, you know, I'm about to get off. Here's my number. You can hit me up later. So I didn't at the time because I was finishing up school, and I was like, hey, I ain't have time. So then when I finally finished, I hit him back up. I went back up there. He was gone. So I'm like, oh. So I went to my inbox, got his little message out with his number, and I texted him, and I was like, hey, you know, I told him my little screen name. I can't remember what it was, but he was like, okay. He was like, you know, I thought you had forgot about me. So we kind of like started chatting through, you know, we were texting then, but we met through Black People Meet. And so after fast forward, he talked to me. He was like, I remember you. He was like, you had went to one of my homeboys' house. He was like, I seen you there. And he told me who I was with and everything. And I was like, yeah. He was like, but you know, I didn't know we would like reconnect back on Black People Meet. But you know, small world.
Hey, BlackPeopleMeet.com and shit.
I'll tell anybody.
Hey, y'all got like, don't be saying, hey, when females and brothers out there, don't be shit. Don't be saying. Don't be saying to use them dating sites, man, because you know, like eventually, in your local town, your hometown, shit just get recycled.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Everybody go eventually come across somebody that, you know, your friend has messed with. It's a small ass town. And people be trying to alienate that, like, oh, you used to mess with my friend. Fuck it.
But
you can't. Yeah, you live around the corner.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? You know, people can't help, but you know, who you attracted to, you know what I'm saying? So if you really valuable, don't let her go.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And your homie, because don't believe every need your homies looking at your trophy. Yeah, nigga, you. You know what I'm saying? That's believe your homies looking at your trophy. So don't be ashamed to like use all outlets for meeting your soulmate. You know what I'm saying? Your soulmate might be in down Miami somewhere, New Orleans, or New York, and you see him around here still talking to Tyrone ass. He won't even go get a damn job. He's talking about some express. Baby express ain't come back home, man. Let me hold the car and give you $40 over. Breona.
I was TJ's RA in college.
Okay.
That was my first time ever meeting him, seeing him. I was his RA. So resident assistant at,
Yeah.
So yeah.
What school you talking about?
The North Carolina Central University.
Yeah, you figured. So yeah, go ahead and elaborate though, cause I got the years.
So I was his RA, and I think I was doing like walkthroughs or something. I was asking him, and I had to ask him a question about obviously where he was living. He was very mean, disrespectful during that time. I didn't know who he was. He didn't know who I was. It was just kind of like he was trying to get to what he was doing. And then later on down the line, he started like maybe a year or so after, he started liking a lot of my pictures on Facebook and Instagram. You know how you just start telling like, all right, everything I'm posting, like
You scroll get to the bottom of the damn house. You know what I'm saying? The pictures she got there, see it there like this. You know what I'm saying? All they look free is like this. Yeah, like this. Take it back.
But yeah, he was liking them. Just I would post them on a regular. Like dude was always liking something. But I began after I was like, yo, you know, you can start noticing like when somebody really into you or just liking it consistently. So I started, you know, researching, seeing who this guy was. I seen he was a, you know, stand-up guy. Just kind of looking at whatever, you know, all the things he was, you know, he was posting. But then we had Snapchat became a thing, and so we had moved on to Snapchat, and I started seeing that, you know, he was taking care of his kids and all that, and it kind of turned me on. So I'm like, oh my God, you know. And so from there, I slid in, like, yeah, that's what okay, what he was saying. I kind of did. I was just like, oh, it's so cute. That's all I said. Like, that's all I needed to say for him to kind of like, oh yeah, I got it.
You was very shy, yeah, at school. So how did Taurus approach you? Did you approach him?
I approached him. I met him in '98 in Meadowbrook. Me and one of my friends, we walked to Meadowbrook. I stayed in the neighborhood, so y'all know how far that was. So
You did that walk, man. The walk will turn to the run when the shots start going up. That's how I lose so many weight. There's so much weight because I vision myself when I'm running. Hey yo, you running through that now, all right? It's not like now. It's 2000 the motherfucking 10. You running through rolling meadows. Going bah, come on, speed it up, man. Bah, bah, they're going up. Speed it up. Bah, 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 get down, all right, go back. That's how I lose all that weight. Yeah, try that down walk now. Yeah, but go ahead.
Nah, we walked and he was sitting on the curb. It was, and I seen him and, you know, I didn't know him, but my friend knew him. And she said, he one of the guys we be on a three-way with, you know.
Yeah, back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just, later on we was on the three-way again, and then I got to high school in 98, and he was in gym class where he skipped school. He ain't never go to class. Never.
Yeah, had to.
So, right. So I would bother him, you know, you got some pretty eyes. You cute. Why you ain't never in class? You ain't on our roster. So he said, why you bothering me? I don't like you. But every day, I will wrestle every day. And I'm like, why you not in class? You know, you need to be in class. And then I sent one of my friends to give him my number.
So you were pretty much already white back then.
Yeah.
That's what wild do.
Yeah, I knew that I was gonna be with him. I already knew.
Yeah. And you know how much talking I had to do tonight. I had to talk to him over 12 years.
He still don't talk, so.
I know. I'm saying, you said you already knew you were gonna be with him.
Yeah.
And you know how long I met my wife when I was 17, like 16. I had to talk to her. I had to go back down like 12 years later.
But the thing is, she was perfect, but the time wasn't. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
That's all it was. Man.
I know I was perfect. And then DJ talking about, who you want to be, DJ? Who you want to be, DJ? Hey, so we go chat with Matt, man. I got a little mid session, man. No, like I said, my DJ is now business. You know what I'm saying? We no longer just doing parties and going home and chilling. We're actually trying to, you know what I'm saying, make something out of this thing. You know what I'm saying? This way he love to do, this way his passion. So this is what we striving for. So DJ, what's gonna be the name of the company?
Rodon Incorporated.
Rodon Incorporated, Rodon LLC. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my little my guy. So what y'all want y'all to do right now is focus on my DJ. He'll get a little bit of y'all time. DJ Rock this shit.
Break it off, another hot explosive mix. What you wanna know, there ain't another, don't want no other. Break it off, another. Come to the gutter. You try to shake me, I'm not going crazy now. Look at us lately and tell them who's your lady. I never thought you'd be the one, make me shine brighter than the sun. There ain't no ups and downs, no winning outs. You're here right now. You want me to stay, I'll never leave. If you want me to stay, we'll always be. You want me to stay, love has its sleep. If you want me to stay, you know you stay and I believe you.
Hey DJ, how can they get in touch with you? DJ, how can they get in touch with you?
Instagram, DonStatus252. Email Jodan102@iCloud.com or just hit up Mac Billy himself, man.
I connect the dots, man. That's my brother right there, DJ Don Status. Alright, so we back, y'all. Appreciate y'all for coming to the Mac Cave, like we go chat with Mac. So dating prior to marriage, was it the most exuberant shit in the world that every day you woke up to this man, like you're like, man, where I find my damn trophy? Look at this sexy chop like a black motherfucker beside you. To that nigga proposed to me.
Nope.
Damn. My bad, bro. Hey, I set the brother up for success. Hey, I thought I set him up for success.
It wasn't a long dating process for me. It was not a long dating process. I met him in September. We started dating in October. We got engaged at December, and that was it. Like, it didn't take long at all. In 3 months, he said he knew that I was the one, and I said yes.
Yeah, it didn't take me to come along. Shit, we started dating in July. I hit it. Like the first time I hit it. June, I think. I hit it in June, right before July came in. I hit it the week before July 4th. I hit it, then July 4th, I said, yeah, we go to we was proposed by December. So DJ, I hit it 1 week, I went with the next week, I was engaged in 6 months. Just, what was that dating like?
Oh, nah. It wasn't none of that 3 month, no 6 month, none of that. So Sid and I, we been together a little more than 7 years. And I had done got to a point that I'm like, well, hold on now. You know, like my grandma say, you know, why buy the cow when you can get milk for free? I'm not going to keep giving up these, you know, these cookies and you know, yeah. So what's up? You know, so I kept, but I never pressured him, but I would always kind of be like, okay, look, you know, we've been dating now 7 years. You know what it is. You know whether you want to build or not. But I think it was more so like Sid had previously been married, so I think he wanted to make sure, you know what I'm saying, and I hadn't. So I was the one that was like, you know, I'm ready, but I think both people have to be equally ready. But the whole dating phase though, I kind of like let it go because our dating stage man like romantic, you know, flowers and bath water and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I was still like, okay, well, everything's going good. We don't have any issues, so I'll just continue to wait. But, you know, it happened on God's timing. That's all I look at.
Yeah, ladies, don't try to put that shit on no man. Like, you know, speak your voice.
Right.
Let it be known how you feel. You know what I'm saying? And cause I don't know. Well, I know previously going on. I ain't know a woman that want to be a wife.
Mm-hmm.
But it ain't too many guys that really, I can't wait to be a husband.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just something that, you know, we got to feel. So, you know, and that man ready to get down on his knee, close the eagle, dude. You know, if he taking too long, walk away from the situation. Like I said, you know, it may hurt at the time, but in the end, all of it all, you will appreciate it. Y'all appreciate each other because, you know, you ain't trying to force something on him that he won't ready for or just didn't want to do. And he ain't feel like he had to submit to something. You know what I'm saying? That he didn't want to do. So, yeah, females, you being with a man is kind of, you know what I'm saying? They don't mean, you know, we out here trying to work out all our cheating and get all that shit out the way before we do it. It's just one of the biggest commitments that you go ever make. You know what I'm saying? Being with one person every day is the, you know, you got your eyes and your nose. Marriage ain't nothing but a lifelong roller coaster ride. But as long as you going up more than you going down, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you know, roller coaster, you know, it don't always go like that. They go woo, woo. It might go down, it might come back up. You know what I'm saying? As long as it don't crash, whatever. But like I said, you know, always what's your opinions on how y'all feel and you know what you want to be, but you know, don't push that timeline on the man because a man will do it. You know what I'm saying? It's hard, like especially like, you know, a lot of with our generation, we ain't go up with our fathers. I ain't speaking for me, because I ain't speaking, but DJ ain't speaking for TJ or you know whatever. But you know, a lot of my friends that go up with their fathers, so they ain't get that you know that instilled that towards a way, son, when you trying to be the wife, you gonna know this and the third. We got to learn that shit as we go.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but you know, that man stay around long enough and y'all make it happen. We don't know what about you. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? See you jump in his bitch, see she sleep. I would think the private marriage.
Amazing.
Oh, rehearse this before y'all okay?
No, for real. We talk about it all the time. That's why we always revert back to that. You know, just think about like how we started and how we want to continue that same vibe. And TJ paid attention to details early on. Like when I like this, I want to do this. Like first thing I said, like I ain't never rode horses before. Our first date took me to ride horses. Took me to the ride horses. The details, and I'm not used to that. You know, I wasn't used to it. So just paying attention to the details. But I was, and you know, it only took 3 months for him to propose. It didn't take him long. He knew off the gate. And then I also, because I had already been used to like, okay, I've been in something like this before. I didn't know off that. Like, what's the expectation? What's the goal? Not to pressure him, but just so that I'm not wasting any more time. And so that's our dating, you know, experience. It was amazing, but it's still not to say it's not now. But we always go back to that, so we can always refresh. You know.
Horseback ride. Was y'all in Ringwood, Castile?
Was it Cherokee?
Yeah. Oh, he ain't go around and eat country pork. They said y'all horses ain't right. Oh, boys out there, y'all got them dog horses. That nigga down the street got a dog, right? Oh, damn, y'all get out for the day. He said, hey, TJ, you said you had to take it with the horses and the ring. Y'all niggas around here, y'all niggas need to stop breeding that horse with the damn dog. Dang. Hey, look, they like pride to being married to my boy Thorpe.
We dated. He took me out. He treated me, you know, good. You know, we couldn't do nothing but Western City. We were so young. He didn't have no money. He ain't got no money.
But both love, you got to be creative. It's easy when you got a buku of money. You know what I'm saying? You go fly here. I'm gonna set this up. I got the money on worry, but that broke love. You got to think. You got to get the damn arts and crafts bites out. You got to get the arts and crafts. You got to go look at the. Let's say, so if I put the noodles and I put some hot sauce with some sausage, I can call it. You know, Itch a bug. Now we got itch a bug. Get some shrimp, some shrimp and rice. You gotta spend $10 at the store. Now we got itch a bug. That's no.
So Matt, I gotta tell you something. So my husband, well, we dated at the time. So he called me at work and was like, I'm gonna come pick you up, take you to lunch. So I work in the bank, so I was cleaning stuff now. And I go get in the car. He got on this nice shirt, some nice pants. And I looked down, and he had on some slides and some socks. And we went and had lunch. But still, I was like, okay, so I ain't used to this kind of person, but such a good time. I had a good time. I'm just saying, but he said, he drives trucks, man. So he said, I drive trucks.
Okay, you get a bag. You get a bag, bro. I'm about to get on your ass, bro. You know what I'm saying? When he proposed to you, when my man proposed to you, when and where? Time and date.
So I'll give you a little background. So when we met in October, December came, and his son came over for the weekend. Him and my son, they hit it off just like that. It snowed, so they played video games all week. They wrestled. And one day, my son got up and said his hip was hurting. So, took him to National General. They did x-ray, said he was fine. We took him to like 4 more doctors. Everybody said he was fine. And he went from limping on it to not being able to walk, not being able to bathe himself. He wasn't eating. So during that time, like, my son's dad was there, but, he was working. And my boyfriend, you knew this kid 3 months, and you stepped in, you giving him a bath, you taking him back and forth to the doctor with me. Eventually we took him to do it, he got admitted. And he stayed there with me the whole time, like, he never left outside. So finally I asked the doctor, can we at least spend Christmas at home? So he said, if you learn how to give your son an IV at home, y'all can go home. And he sat there with me, and he learned how to do the IV. My son had to go into surgery where he had to be awake the whole time. I couldn't take it. He went into surgery with him, stayed with him the whole time. We got home on Christmas Eve, and Christmas Eve he proposed.
I put one on Christmas Day with me at the same time.
Yeah.
Alright, it's it, because he already showed you he was husband before he proposed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, one thing, it's one thing to love a woman, but to love a kids, that shows a different commitment.
That's major, man.
Because, dealing with black children.
Here you go.
Little niggas.
Oh, man.
They get the turn. You know what I'm saying? When that child ain't yours, first start off, they already on the defense. You know what I'm saying? They already, especially the fault in it. Like, what they think over there? What time you coming over? You sleeping up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, when you love a woman, kids, man, before you even make that commitment, you already know pretty much, like, it's a different love because they really love you. And the extension is being shown to your child. So we'll shout out to that brother. What about you, just the time and date? Play it, because I knew the next day. I knew the next hour.
Y'all knew, like, right after that.
Yeah.
Stop playing.
I knew, goddamn, I woke up out my damn sleep. The first thing I seen was the sun. I seen the sun. I was talking about her ring.
So crazy.
Yeah, I seen the damn sun. Look at that ring down.
So, August the 4th, 2019, because we got married in 2020, so it's August the 4th. My son had got a full ride scholarship to Winston-Salem. So during that time, I was like an emotional wreck. It was time for him to go to school, and it's always been just like me and him. Even though I had said in my life, and he was my man, and he was the provider in the home. But prior to him, it was me and my son in the house. You know, outside of his dad, once his dad left, it was always me and him. And I was always that provider for him. You know how they always say the little Oedipus complex thing. So my son is truly, I'm a boy mom. So when I tell you, like, my son is very, like, protective, that whole nine. So he was going off to school, and I was like an emotional wreck all week, crying and just like, I don't know how we're gonna make it. And he's like, what you mean, man? You know, I'm here. So I'm like, I know, but you know, my baby going to school. So that Sunday morning we had a service at church where they were like, you know, congratulating the graduates and stuff. So my son was leaving out with his cap and gown and stuff for the ceremony. So as he got outside, he was walking to the car, and said was going to open the door for me, which is not, you know, something that's not normal. So he was going to open the door, and he was talking while he was opening the door. And he was like, you know, I know you've been sad for the last week or two, and I know you feel like, you know, now Tarad is leaving, that you're lonely. He was like, I just want you to know, now that he's gone, I'm going to always be there. And he started getting on his knee. I'm like, what are you doing? You know, I've been waiting for this for so long. So it was like what I needed at that moment, like some reassurance. It was God. It was nobody but the Lord himself telling me, like, this man is here for you. So it just made me feel so much better and comfortable with, like, okay, I'm letting my son go to, you know, grow to become a man, but yeah, I've gained a husband in the process. So.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I don't think it's got me out there about the problem that she talking I was in bed, DJ.
I was too.
Yeah, I said, dude, you wasn't married.
It better book I was.
Yeah, I was in the bed. I was staying on God night. I was sick at the time. I was in the bed. I didn't even know how to present shit. I'm one of them niggas. I had that pride, so getting on my knee won't go happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had that pride back in the day. You know, shit, goddamn. I'm my daddy's child. You know, so it's just certain shit I just don't succumb to. And one thing was getting on my knee, so I gave him up on the side of the bed and said, you want to marry?
I did the
She
same.
said, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But the way these niggas coming, I should have looked in the player's handbook. Them niggas know about the player's handbook. The cheating ass.
You talk about it.
Yeah, they cheat like motherfucker. Breona, retirement date. When was the proposal?
October 15th, 2016. In Durham, it was during our homecoming. It was homecoming weekend. And we went after homecoming. He was like, "Yeah, we about to go to this party." And I was like, "All right, cool. Like, what I do wear?" So he kind of gave me an idea. But I seen him with this like little blue vest. And I was like, "Yeah, he's really going to a nice little party. Like, what we got to do?" Anyway, so I started asking a whole bunch of questions, just like what we doing. But he would always tell me, "Birthday, we about to go to a party." We pull up at this Japanese spot, and we walk in, and everybody like, "Oh, y'all clean, whatever." Laughing, giggling, and so me just knowing who I am, like I told y'all, like I'm like, yo, why they doing so much? Like they need to calm down a little bit, but they had already knew, you know, what was about to happen. So we go into the spot, you know, of course, and I think it was even before we ate, like, and TJ got on his knees, sang, and I said, yeah.
He did. He said what? He
said he sang a song.
Yeah, they bought a handbook. Where they bought a handbook from? Where they ever sell a player's handbook? God damn. Hell no, that shit won't do it. Hey, no. Man, what you singing, TJ?
One of Jamie Foxx's joints.
Give me a chance.
Yeah. So we give me a chance, give me an opportunity.
I would eat that. I swear I always fall for your time. Hey, retirement date. What that man get on this deal? How do you produce it?
October the 6th, 2005.
Okay.
But we was rocking it that month. We was going through it, and I was just like, I'm about to go. We gotta do something. 7 years, we gotta do something. Like, that's what it was. I was like, we gotta do something.
So, Troy, your situation pretty much the rain brought sunshine.
Yeah.
Because that's what happens sometimes. Like, you know, shit don't always be peaches and cream.
Nope.
And that's what people don't understand. Like, you know, every household got a store. Every household got a store. I don't care who you are. And all that ain't even about infidelity. You know what I'm saying? Some household can be lack of communication. Some households can be, physical and verbal abuse.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Some households, it's different. Like, so, but sometimes you need that pain to feel the joy. You know what I'm saying? So,
That's a word.
was y'all nervous or excited? Like, how was them feeling running through y'all? Cause, man, like, I did propose a couple weeks back. You know what I'm saying? And even though me and cousins already been together, I was still shaking. I was still nervous. So, but y'all was eyes through the roof when that man proposed to you. How did you feel? What was your feelings at the time?
I was thinking about what my parents were gonna think because I was like, man, I'm been with this dude like 3 months. I know everybody gonna be talking. Like, I don't know. And like I said, yes, because I really want to be married. But in my mind, I'm like, well, let's just get engaged now. Then let's just like wait 2 years before we get married. But he was also stuff like, if we ain't getting married 2019, we ain't getting married 2020.
I seen a damn meal one day where they said if a nigga proposes, you say no, the relationship over. And you got women that they're trying to justify it, about this, the third. I said, man, fuck the other goddamn this shit. What the fuck I look like?
Right.
Goddamn play on first. I'm supposed to swallow it. I ain't read the handbook, but I know a little something. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, but you said you went ahead and stepped in and said you were gonna work towards the marriage.
So I said I'm gonna work towards it. And then like a few months went by and he was like, so you ain't bought no dress, you ain't started planning nothing. Like, Shameka, I'm serious. So I really didn't start planning until like May or June because I just kept thinking I'm gonna wait till next year and wait till next year. He won't have that.
I know you cried your damn eyes out.
Oh, I was ready. You hear me? But I was like, so I went. Mind you, I told you guys that he was opening up the door for me. So I was the one that was actually gonna drive to church. Oh, I couldn't drive. I was like this, like afterwards, and he was just like, I'll drive. You sit over there. So I called my mom and I was like, guess what? I told her and she was like, oh my God, happy for I knew it was coming. Said had them talked about it or whatever. And I told, so my son was all excited and stuff for me because he's happy. My son loves said, he has his dad, but said is a stand-up guy. So my son was happy. I called my best friends. I called Ashley and I called Tequila. They were the first ones that I called. And then I called my brother. So after that, y'all knew everybody. You hear me? Yeah. Everybody, because I went straight to Facebook. Like, guess what, y'all? I got my provider. I got my protector. I got this. I got that. You know what I'm saying?
They constitute the same damn way about me.
Yeah.
Constitute the same damn way about me. I don't give a fuck what she say to me. At the end of the day, she know what bad. I am the man.
Yeah.
With the motherfucking plane. With the left and the right hand. So I tell you, I used to dribble the basketball. I was ambidextrous. I do them both. You know what I'm saying? Word up.
I was excited.
Really? Yeah, I know you said you walked in there shit was all extra. Did they catch you on guard? How was your anxiety? Was it through the roof? What did it feel?
All of it. What's happening? What's going on? But I already knew, like, whenever it happened, I was going to say, yeah. It was just like, I didn't know it was going to be that quick. Like, oh yeah, we really about to do this. So yeah, I was extremely nervous.
When he proposed to you, I know you said y'all had a rock and roll. What made you say, you know what, let's do it?
Well, honestly, when he did, I was like, no. I ain't want to at that moment. Because I was just like,
Yeah.
we going through this, this and this. But after a while, we waited a little while. We kind of distanced ourselves a little bit. And then he came back. We're going to do this. And I'm like, oh, well, he actually went. We got married just in peace. And he went and done all the paperwork, done all the stuff. And he was like, you my wife, we getting married. Let's go. Get up the next morning and we went. Hoodies. It was just like
shout out to the storm.
right.
Shout out to the storm, DJ. How the grass go, DJ? How the flowers look? Shout out to the storm. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna appreciate the sunshine without the rain.
It don't always
What much love to y'all for working through that. So like the hearsay, the family members and all that, like what was they saying? Was they all for it? Did you have some like, yeah, you know, you getting married 2 times, so but you don't look at these,
Yeah. And was just like, do y'all really know each other? It's so quick. Y'all just really met. You know, I heard this about him. I heard that. And I'm like, I don't care what y'all heard. Like, and my husband, he went to prison for like 5 years. And it had even gotten to the point where people at work were saying, you know, you're a business banker, and if a lot of people find out who your husband is and that he's been in prison before, they may choose not to do business with you anymore, blah, 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 blah. But I was like, well, if that's the case, then I'm in the wrong profession. And I mean, I just decided that he wasn't what I was used to, but I was going to give him a shot because he seemed like, you know, the way he stood in for my son, I was like, he got to be a good dude.
I know all you had was major support.
I did. However, I think, so my husband and my brother had an issue probably like the year before. So they had made amends, but it was more like, I still felt a little reserved, like from my brother, where it was like, you know, as long as my brother's always been the type that as long as my sister is happy, but you know your family, you know what I'm saying? So I just felt like it was like some distance. But then, you know, they talked again and it was more like, hey, you know, I'm gonna be here. I'm marrying your sister. Right. You know, I love her, I'm gonna be with her. I've been here, I'm not going anywhere, you know, we can grow as men from this or whatever. So my brother, my brother's all in. My whole family is all in. My whole family loves it. Sometimes, like, when he goes places without me, you know what I mean? So, yeah, my family loves him. My friends love him. Everybody was supportive.
Yeah, what about you? I know you. Yeah, you gotta know y'all had the glitz and the lovely. You married a real grandson. you joined the family history. I know they were like, girl, you better marry that man. Shit, real walk. Girl, man, you ain't know.
For my side, they didn't know enough.
Damn, well, read mail, man. Damn, I'm not read mail.
Dang, I mean, honestly, that's how my family like, I don't really care if you a rev, you a doc, whoever you are, I need to know who you are, you know, type thing. And so it was more so, my mother to this day, she was like, you've only known him, do you know enough? Have you really like that? Have you seen that winter, spring, summer, fall, all those 4, you know, have you seen all of him type thing? And are you sure? Because it's only been 3 months type thing. But no pushback, because everybody knows, like, once I make my mind up, that's it. If you gonna rock with it or you not, you know, but I'm about to marry this guy.
I love how you there.
About you out here, was it all love or did you get the love?
It was at first.
You got about 20 of y'all.
It was good at first, but when they found out the piece of the puzzle was about to separate, I got sisters, so they was like, my oldest, she couldn't stand them.
Yeah.
My mom, she was like, you too young, you know, we, you know, this or that. You know, I was good with his family until we did it. And they was like, no, y'all too young at 23. No, y'all too young.
Okay, so now we done dated. Probably done had a few babies, some in some situations that we never know either. The wedding day. Just the piece of what was it?
Well, I told him we could go to just the piece, but we had to like dress up and take pictures. And he was like, I ain't dressing up, gonna go just to the piece, take no pictures. So he was like, if I gotta dress up, we gonna have to wear them.
Everybody say, shit, I want to slide down with socks on. Hell, I'm gonna dress up to go see that nigga down there. That motherfucker down there, the police get married. Who is he?
Yeah, so we ended up, at the very end, I was getting kind of like, dang, I wasn't planning fast enough. So I hit up Latoya Powell, when she did her wedding too.
Yes.
So the last minute, she pulled everything together and we got married at Nash Community.
Okay.
Shout out to Toya.
I know y'all college, she gonna retire.
All with great expectations. So originally we had about 300 people on our guest list. Like it was a big thing. It was gonna be like a really big event, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
So we got married during COVID, and we were getting married at Nash Community. And it's a 9,600 square foot space. We had got the whole building, like not just 1 or 2 rooms, the whole building. And the lady called me, I think Miss Linda, I think that's her name. Miss Linda called me probably like 2 or 3 weeks prior to, no, I'm gonna say about 3 weeks prior to our date, and said, you know, the governor made another announcement, and you can only have like 10 people inside and 25 outside. Well, Miss Linda, I'm not about to give you this bread for 10 people on the inside.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, so we're gonna cancel that. So my husband knew that I wanted a wedding. Like he knew that I was the one that really wanted a wedding. He's always been the one like, as long as you're gonna be my wife, all that other stuff didn't matter. So he was like, well, what about if we get married? Because we have a really big yard. So he said, what about if we get married in the yard? So he know I don't do outside. I was like, that ain't gonna work. So he came to me and presented to me like the little tent thing, and he was like, this is what it's gonna look like. So I was like, was it closed in? So we got the tent with the liner, the hole, the size and everything. Cost more than the building, but he knew that's what I wanted. So, we had to cut our guest list down by like over half. We had like 100 and some people still, which was a lot for COVID. Thank God everybody was safe. We practiced safety measures and everything. But I got married at home. And what more intimate space than that?
Yeah, so you had to do a lot of shit. Sounded like goddamn.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, said. I was over there, man. You know what? Shit.
Yeah.
Shit. Hey, DJ. All the best, man. Yeah, shout out to you, bro. I never let this. I'm like, look, fuck you, dude. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? Breona, what was the date? And how was it like?
So we got married at our house, and then we had a ceremony for everybody else later on.
Okay.
And what was the other half of the question? What was the other part?
Just the date that, what was it like?
Yeah, all of our family members, everybody was there. It was just that, we had it intimate, very intimate for ourselves, and making sure that, whoever we were surrounded by would have our backs and will uphold us in our marriage. So.
What about you, Aisha?
Just a piece. Went down there.
Yeah.
Got married. But look out.
Okay.
Working on something.
Okay.
I gotta take cousin to her.
Working on something.
I broke the shit, DJ. Hey, DJ. I go to Nashville. I've been on some damn jeans, a damn LRG shirt. They gonna dress up with that motherfucker. Fuck them. So we married. Congratulations. So y'all rings.
Yes.
Bling, bling.
Yeah, the bling on, you know what I'm saying? Now I want y'all to, I want to kind of long way to get y'all back to y'all families. I want you to do strong with you, Shameka. Look into that camera right there and tell that man exactly how you feel about it.
So, Choke, the past 2 years hasn't been very long, but it's been real. You've never given me a reason to doubt how you feel about me, and I will never give you a reason to doubt how I feel about you. I would never have you looking crazy or embarrassed out here in these streets, ever. And you have been exactly what I needed in my life. I don't think I'd be the woman that I am today without you guiding me through a lot of healing. And I love you. I appreciate you. And it's a Thorpe thing forever, shawty.
I tell you all the time, so you already know how I'm coming. But I do want you to know that I love you, I appreciate you, I love and I respect you as a man. I thank you for the person that you have helped me grow into be. And I just want you to know that we riding this thing till the wheels fall off, baby, and that's forever. Forever.
Look at mine. No, TJ Walker, I just want to tell you I adore you, I love you, I thank you for being present, I thank you for just being a listening ear when I need you in all areas of my life. I thank you for just bringing another perspective, and just showing me what love is. We've been through a lot, over the years, but I will not trade anything that we've gone through, what we're going through, what we will go through, for anybody else, for anything. I just want you to know that I'm looking to ride this thing out for forever. I appreciate you. I thank you for just, doing what you do best, which is being a stand-up guy and a guy that I can appreciate and trust with my life. So I appreciate you.
You got something to say for your damn husband? Damn. Talk to your damn husband.
Torrance Porter, I thank you for being a supportive husband, being there for me, helping me raise the boys. I'm tough to get along with sometimes. Yes, I'm mouthy, yes, I'm demanding, but you instilled a lot in me. We grew together, and I wouldn't ask for nothing else.
Look, put the camera on me. It's on. Rashawn, my Miller, you are the best damn husband in the world.
You know it.
What you do for your wife and your children, the levels you take this shit is far beyond all measures. Oh my God, you are so fine. You can dress. You hit the thing, you get it from the I just want you to know, son, my brother, that you are well appreciated. You are well loved. If you was the GOAT today, won't another nigga ever fill your shoes? Can another nigga ever come in your house? Or is that ever be haunted? Be a constant, she loves you. Now, everybody know me. You follow my damn timeline, whatever you do. Well, I like to bust a damn tune every now and again. What we're gonna do is, we got the women up here, we got the wives, the queens of the counts. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna sing a song about it, how they feel about these brothers. Hey, brother, I'm doing this with y'all. What's that? Respect the game. If I don't sound like the artist singer because I smoke reefer. I had a cold like 2 weeks ago, but I'm bouncing back with DJ. Let's get it. Read the damn lyrics, DJ. Don't tap my mic. The wife in this. Part 2. You are my everything. You are my everything. My everything. Don't try to get mine. It's all because of you. I'm never sad and blue. You brighten up my day in your special way. Whenever you're around, I'm never feeling down. You are my trusted friend. Oh, you my everything. You take me away from the pain, and you bring me back down. Over those lovely days, you brought sunshine in my life. And never would come to me the first time I saw your face. I would fall so deep in love that you don't give me reason. You are my everything. I'm so good. Everything, you are everything, and everything you are everything, and everything is you. You gotta say it like you can write about look at that. You are everything, and everything is you. Shout out to my guest, lovely lady, coming back to the chat with Matt tonight. the Wifey edition, part 2, Black Marriage is Mine. Next week, we got the culinary episode coming up. I got my man, Big Beloved, TJ Harold coming up. My man, Jay Bando. I got my little sister, Kimmy Dickens coming with the sweets. I got Sean Williams, she coming with the sweets. And I'm trying to get my boy, Smoking Backyard Barbecue up here, my boy, Philip Clean, where they call him Lil Clean. I'm trying to get Lil Clean up here. So tune in next week. We rock out. Go chat with Matt. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. DJ, rock this.
This is Go Chat with
DJ?
Podcast.
Oh!